Good morning and happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live Show, where I, Sunita, along with my two co-hosts, Tracy from Miss Tracy Kessler and Kelly from NOFO Endless Summer, we hop on every Friday and talk about everything North Fork. I am traveling this week in sunny Florida. So thankfully I am missing some of the cold weather there, and I'm watching it, and I understand there's going to be a little bit of, I think it says snow. I'm not sure if it's freezing rain or snow on Wednesday, Thursday. Frankly, I'm really tempted to stay a couple of days extra because I'm finally starting to understand why people are snowbirds and why they go away. But I'm definitely missing the beautiful sunsets, and I can't wait to be back. But I'm happy to be here for a couple of days and sit under the palm trees and enjoy. Our guest today is a group that braves the cold weather no matter what. They love the idea of cold water swimming. So it doesn't matter, rain or shine, they seem to be very dedicated to plunging in our cold waters. Most of them, or a lot of them, do this every single day of the year. So I can't wait and to love the cold weather that we have for these few months. Trying to figure out what's going on with the tech. I don't know if the Wi-Fi is deleted. There you are, Kelly. How are you? Good morning.
How are you?
How is the weather there?
Not too bad.
Not too bad is good. Not too bad is good.
I mean, colder than yesterday, right, Tracy? But not like freezing.
Yeah, no, the past couple of days have actually been
good.
Reasonable, although not making me want to jump in the water.
Well, yeah, that's why we have a perfect guest today. Well, hello there. How are you? Is that Papa Bear and Mama Bear together?
You got us both together. That's the surprise.
As weird as it sounds to call the two of you that.
Yeah.
That's what the NOFO polar bears call you guys, right? So we'll start there.
Yeah.
Good morning. How are you?
Morning. I love your sweatshirts.
They literally were picked up 15 minutes ago. So we
okay. Let's plunge right in. Literally, tell us who you are and tell us all about the NOFO Polar Bear Club.
Perfect. Well, this was something that was born. So Patricia and I started this practice about 4 winters ago, and we found a couple of other people that did the same thing that we did out here in the North Fork, and that was this. And then just over a year ago on New Year's Day, about 19 of us actually met New Year's Day, went in, and people came out, and then they were like, "Oh my God, I didn't die. Can we do this again?" And it's like, sure. And then it's like, well, we can do it every Sunday if you want. And so we started just a WhatsApp group. It was very simple. And I would let people know where on Sunday. I'd pick a location on the North Fork that there was no wind. And that was it. So I just post on that chat, every single Sunday, let's all meet here today. And it just grew and grew and grew. And now there are over 100 of us.
Wow.
We all meet in different groups all over the North Fork, and at different times of the day. So there's a 7 a.m. crew. So Patricia and I went in at 7 a.m. this morning. There were 9 of us at 7 a.m. So this is before sunrise.
Oh my God.
So we're actually in the water, and you can see the sun coming up, and it's just absolutely magical. So, and it's addictive. It's addictive.
Can we go back to that "I'm afraid I'm going to die" thing? So, like, what's the actual experience like for the first time?
I can speak to this because I followed them on Instagram for a while, and I sat on an armchair and I thought, this sounds interesting, but no way are you going to catch me in the water, right? I grew up in India. I go in the Long Island Sound in August, like let it be August, let there be warm. But I watched for a few months and I thought, maybe I'll dip my toes in. You guys know Megan, right? Like Wild Child Farmstead?
Yeah.
So I thought I was the coach. So she's involved in the group. I kept watching her, and she kept saying, "Oh, it's so fun. You should try it." So one day I put my bathing suit on, and I said, "I'm going to dip my toes in. Is that okay if I come for my toes?" And she's like, "Absolutely, just come." It was a nice, warm, sunny, I think, day in October. I went. Can I just tell you, everybody was so supportive. Nobody pushed me to go in, but just watching everybody just la, la, la. I was like, okay, I'll give it a ago. I think I was in there, Kelly, for 10 minutes. I didn't want to come out.
Wow.
It was such a high. It was amazing. But the sun was out and it felt nice. But hats off to the two of you and the rest of the crew that goes in rain, snow, sleet, shine. I don't know how you find that motivation.
Yeah, it's where does the motivation come from? I guess it's once you've discovered it, it's got really nothing to do with the cold. Once you've discovered it's what you actually walk away from is just a different experience of yourself, a different experience of life, who you get to be in the world. There's a shift there. Once you connect to that, something different is now possible. So that's why we kind of do it every day. Mm-hmm. And then getting back to, I think it was what Kelly was saying, is this, oh my God, I'm going to die comment. Speak to that about story.
I have not tried this even in the October weather. So,
right. And Kelly, what is your fear? Like, what is the story in your head about what's going to happen when you go in?
So when I once went to Vermont and it was so cold, just standing outside, that feeling of like, it actually hurt. That's what I'm afraid of.
Right, I get it. I think it's completely natural. Like, our body is innately afraid of cold, and cold is uncomfortable. So it's not something that we're like, oh, I want to go experience that. So there are a lot of barriers, especially around the story of cold. So what we say is, like, when you go in, the first thing that you want to try to let go of is that story of cold, and see if you can be open to a different sensation and name it differently. Because many people approach with this story, and if you go into the cold water, you're like, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold. It's going to be really cold. But if you slow it down and you go in and you begin to feel it and sort of be gentle with it, then you realize that you're okay. And it's that moment that you realize that you're okay, and that the limitation that you had in your head about what that moment is going to be like, it was just a limitation, and that you're okay, and you can keep on going. That's I think where the magic is that
so
you just
a mindset switch than an actual physical experience.
Somebody just asked, and this is, so my fear is getting sick. And somebody just asked this in the comments as well. And I mean, I've been watching, I know Mary Latham did the 60 days and now she's up to 64. And I watch you guys, you're obviously doing it in freezing cold weather. So, and you don't sound sick. but that's my fear, is that I'm going to go in and then I'm going to be sick for 2 weeks. And I'm like, I just blew, I can't afford to be sick for 2 weeks.
Yeah. It's a very real fear.
Mm-hmm. All fears are very real when it comes to cold.
Yeah, but you'll notice there's an old wives' tale there are many old wives' tales, but one of them is, don't go outside when it's cold and got wet hair, you'll get sick. And yet, of course, there's no science to back it up, but it's like this story. It's like, what will happen is your head will get cold because your hair's wet, but there's no sickness there. Mm-hmm. You may get a headache or something, but there's no sickness.
Yeah.
So when you start to distinguish sickness as, okay, a virus, some bacteria in the body, that doesn't exist in the water.
Right.
So you going into the water is another story to actually dispel, is to let go of.
Mm-hmm. I've heard this kind of theory before, that if you don't get sick from cold, you get sick from germs. And then if you are, exposing yourself to extreme, like cold or heat, your body becomes run down, and then the germs you're more susceptible to. But there's no real science to say, like, the cold is causing you to get sick.
But then, Kelly, the reverse argument is true, or not argument, but the reverse stories are true too. Like, my husband, his family is from Estonia, so near Scandinavia, and they are very open, or actually they invite the extremes. He loves saunas, right? And in Estonia, Finland, they have saunas out in the snow, and then they run out in the snow, expose themselves to cold, and then come back into the sauna. So there are stories where that extreme temperature is beneficial for your body. Yeah. I don't know which one to believe or which one works for me,
I can also say
that the science behind cold water exposure is that cold water exposure and sometimes extreme other temperature exposure actually boosts your immune system. Wow. So what you're doing by exposing yourself to cold water, you're putting your body in a temporary moment of stress. And in that temporary moment of stress, your body is like releasing endorphins and it's getting stronger and that resilience. And you're teaching your body to have more fortitude and your mind. I'd say your mind probably more than your body. But then that boosts your immune system, right? So the science behind it is it's good for your health. And then within that, you learn to be skilled in taking care of yourself and giving yourself the proper amount of cold exposure and getting warm when you get out quickly so that you're not hanging out at the edges of it.
I would imagine the timing of having you guys on is so that we can educate people about what's happening Sunday. And I will tell you, as I'm sitting here, I jokingly wrote on the post, like, hey, should we try it on Sunday? And I'll be honest with you, I was like, I'm not trying it. But now that I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you, I mean, because I'm so much into, you know, wellness and natural wellness and how do we do those things. So if you're telling me that if I join you on Sunday, I'm starting a method of boosting my immune system, I might be in. I'm saying might. I'm saying might.
Cold and flu season that she's like, I'll try anything.
Well, I can't speak to the medical boosting of it, but I will tell you. When Patricia was talking earlier about, you know, getting your body used to it, I think when you do an individual practice, which a lot of them do, it's much harder. When you go in a group, there was such a synergy about being there with people that are comfortable with what they're doing and more advanced in their water journey than I was. It just, you didn't even think about the cold. I can't tell you, Tracy, how much of a high I walked away from, and that shift that you were talking about, you know, and I really genuinely will go back. I still have that fear of, oh my God, it's cold and gray, but there's a strong pull to also go do it.
Right. Anita, I think you brought up a good point, because I think the part that becomes addictive, you know, when you're in this cold water and you're outside in nature and the water holds you, and it is extreme sensation, but that extreme sensation brings you into this beautiful presence where, like, in a second, like in about the first minute and a half, like you came in your head, and then all of a sudden, like all of that stops and you're completely present to sensation and the cold, and your own version of self disappears. And that feeling is so good that's what gets addictive, is this shot of aliveness and the presence and nature and the water. And then over time, it becomes like a meditative practice. And anyway, so I'm saying the high for me is more important than the science. Like, if you ask me why I go because I get this extreme feeling of aliveness. I get my connection to nature. It's really joyful. We've met all these people in our community. We go and, you know, we light fires. We have a good laugh on our Sunday swims. And that's why we go. It's that addictive quality of feeling really vital and alive and strong.
So now, as somebody who's never done this before, and Sunita said she went in October, is there a recommendation from you guys for, like, when to try it as a first timer, or, you know, what is your recommendations for somebody who's never ever done this and kind of consider?
So guess when the right time is?
Sunday. Right now.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah, but it's, you know, now is always the right time.
Sunday, 10 a.m.
Because the reality is, you know, all we've got is right now. We don't, you know, I'll do it next time. I'll do it, you know, sit in my armchair, I'll do it next time. But yes, Sunday is such a great opportunity to do this. But the intention for Sunday, which will answer the other question, is the goal for you on Sunday is to literally go in up to your waist, sit down in the water so your shoulders are covered, deep exhale, because when you go in, it's breathtaking. You go, you know, it's that deep, just a huge exhale, stand up, walk out, get dry, get warm, and you're done. That's it. Your goal is to be out on the beach done. Have your towel ready, have everything else ready. It's not about staying in for a long time. Then once you've done it once, you now have a relationship. You can now go back to, it's like this, I didn't die. It's like, oh my God, I didn't die.
And I actually really feel good.
Yeah.
On the other side of it.
But I guarantee you, like me, if you go in with the idea that I just went in with toes, and I, you know, just to add, I don't swim, by the way. I mean, I swim in water I can stand in. I have a 8 feet pool. I don't go on the deep end. So I'm not a swimmer, right? And this is going out, that you guys went out into the sound. But I was fine waiting out until as far as I wanted to. And there was no urgency, not even a thought in my mind that I should go out. Mm-hmm. In fact, after 10 minutes, I was thinking, oh my God, like how long can I actually stay in? Because it was just so peaceful. And I think you guys talked about the individual benefits of the feelings, but I think what we're not addressing here is the group and the community feeling that you get by connecting with other people that are trying to, you know, be out in nature and just enjoy themselves and just do something good for themselves. Mm-hmm. So start with a group swim is what I would say. And then as you're more comfortable, then perhaps progress to individual dips and swims if that's what you're up for.
Absolutely. Especially if you start now, I would start with somebody who knows the cold water and not make your ventures alone, because you want it to feel safe and you also just want to have somebody look out for you. Mm-hmm. I think that's really important.
There's a lot of discussion going. Sorry, there's a lot of discussion in the comments going on about what to wear. And I know that obviously if you're doing this every Sunday, there's things that you invest in and neoprene boots and gloves and things like that. But for someone who wants to try it on Sunday and join you guys, what would you suggest that they wear?
Honestly, just a swimsuit.
Okay.
That's all you need, because you're going in for a short amount of time. The boots and the booties and the gloves are awesome, because what that allows us to do is stay in the water for longer. Right. Because your entire body is covered with water, but the way that we are designed as humans, we're designed to lose heat. So when we're hot, we're designed to lose heat on the palms of our hands and the soles of our feet. And so if we put gloves and booties on, we go in, like in our morning swims, we're in for 7 to 10 minutes, because it's just this chatting. We kind of swim down the beach and it's blah, blah, blah. And we just get to catch up with each other. Did you read that book? And Patricia, one of my favorite expressions that Patricia came up with is, after a while, the least interesting part about winter swimming is the cold.
Right.
But being in nature, being with the community, being held by the water is just so extraordinary. That's why we're there. And the booties and gloves actually allow us to be in the water for longer, allow us to be together for longer. But on Sunday, it's just show up in a swimsuit. The one thing that you'll notice if you have them is either flip-flops or Crocs are amazing for this. But come out, put your Crocs on, because standing on a cold beach is where, remember, we lose heat through the soles of our feet. Yeah. So get your feet off of the cold pebbles as soon as possible. Dry your feet, put them in Crocs, elevate them away from the cold is all you need. But come out, get dry, that's it.
I just said, yeah, I think just a swimsuit. If you have water shoes, just for the comfort of your feet on the rocks, I would bring water shoes, something that you can get in and out easily with. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, one thing you want to do is be able to get warm quickly after you get out, get warm and dry. So wear a sweatshirt or sweatpants that are super easy to get on and off. You don't want to be fussing with it. And when you're cold, you get a little clumsy. So make it super easy. Have your towel ready. Have something that's easy to put on. Even a bathrobe can be really nice when you get out of the water, because you get dry and you're warm and it calms you down. So I think if you do that, also like a beanie over your head just to keep your head warm. It's your first time. That way, you know that after this joyful moment that you're going to have, you can just come out and get warm and be taken care of.
Well, I guess one of the Kirsten was asking from Yard Crop. I guess the best thing would be is if there was a way to take off your wet bathing suit and dry off, right? Yes. But if there isn't an easy way to take off the bathing suit, then you want to find a way to dry off the best you can and wear whatever will keep you dry, right? Isn't the goal to not stay wet after you come out? Because that's when you feel cold.
Because your body will lose heat. I think it's about 25% faster when you're wet than when you're dry. So you do want to get that wetsuit off as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm. Which you'll see on Sunday. A lot of people will have this idea that if they go in a rash guard, or if they go in yoga pants or something like that, it's the illusion of, oh, it'll keep me warm when I'm in the water, when in fact the opposite is true.
Right.
You go in, now the cold water is stuck to you. You get out, the cold water is stuck to you, and you're losing body temperature. So literally...
So
Yep.
pro tip for the ladies, a bikini is probably better than a one piece because you're drying off more parts of your body. I'm just saying, you know.
It's true.
It's true.
It's really true.
The less cold
easier.
fabric you have, the better.
Yeah.
Plus, you can take it off easier and put
scare
something
anyone
else
away.
on.
We don't want to scare people away on Sunday.
Oh, believe me.
Yeah, and there's no scaring anyone away. Honestly, there's no story about that there. Everyone is just so accepting of each other. And that's, again, one of the beautiful things that's come out of this community is people just accepting people the way that they are. And also people learning to accept themselves exactly the way they are.
I think our bears range in age of about 22 to about 82. Wow. And within that range is every kind of body, every kind of relationship with water, from people who started out being very afraid of it to people who are like water babies. So I think there's an opening for everybody. And on Sunday, the special thing is that all the bears will be there. So anybody who wants some more attention or wants to be walked in or have some more guidance, all of us are there. And, you know, it's really joyful to walk people in for the first time. So we'll all be there to make it the best experience possible.
I'm still on the fence about going in, but I feel like I would be a really good person to like wrap people in towels. How about that?
And take pictures.
You're very welcome to come and do that. Be there, wrap people in towels. It's
the towel wrapper.
I like that role. You'll be the official towel wrapper.
Yeah, you're hired.
Bring some firewood for the fire pit, because there's a fire. I'm assuming the fire pit will be there on Sunday.
There'll be probably 3 fire pits on Sunday, only because there'll be so many people. But there'll be lots of fires to stand around. That's, again, another part of the connection, the community, just getting related to other people that are there is around the fire afterwards. You know, once you come out, once you transform something.
Maybe NOFO Live needs to sponsor some hot cocoa or something.
Yeah.
That'd be great. You know?
We don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I say if you're on the fence and you're going to be at the plunge, wear your swimsuit underneath, because what happens is those people on the sidelines are like, oh my God, I could have done that. And then they don't have anything on. So if you're on the fence, come ready, just in case.
Wait, I must add, the day that I went, there was a woman she was a young woman. I don't remember her name now, but she was running. She just happened to be running. She was visiting her family. She saw everybody going into the water, and she was like, what's going on? And they were like, oh, we're polar bears. She stripped down in whatever she was wearing underneath, and she went in the water, and then she put on her sneakers and ran back home. I was like, you go, sister. You know, so come in a bathing suit for sure, Kelly.
Let's talk about Sunday specifics. If somebody's watching this and they're like, okay, I'm in. You guys convinced me I'm in. Where do they go? Where do they sign up? What do they need to know about Sunday?
Sure. So on Sunday, the idea is to register around 10 o'clock. We'll go in the water about 10:30. Where you register is on the CAST website. The name of the plunge on Sunday is Splash for CAST. Okay. So you can find it on our Instagram page, where to go register. You'll also find more about it. Now, we've created certain levels as well. Like, you know, if you either raise or you want to pay $25, you also get a T-shirt and stuff when you're there as well. There's coffee, there's cocoa for everyone when you're there. But, yeah, register online. So log into Splash for CAST. There's a Give Smart page and register there. So that's how to do it. And again, if you happen, you know, get a few people to sponsor you, and the higher up the chain you go in the sponsorship, you get these fabulous sweatshirts, you know. So it's great. And also, we talked about hats. You know, what do you want to wear in the water? Beanies are great. Well, this afternoon, 1 o'clock, we'll have our Norfolk Polar Bear beanies. So that's also part of the gift package for raising funds for CAST. So that's what it's about. It's less about the people that are going in the water. While it's transformative, it's about the money that we've raised and the difference it makes in the community. CAST supports about 2,200 people in the local community that are just having a tough time at the moment. But they not only it's not just handouts, they actually retrain you to create a life that works. Yeah. And this is all over the North Fork and Shelter Island. So it's an extraordinary charity.
Absolutely.
Well, and I also want to congratulate you guys. You know, we're here on Instagram and social media, and what I have been seeing and watching is, I don't know if it's that I'm more aware or whether you guys are really just doing a very good job organically sharing what you're doing, sharing the feeling and the emotion behind it. And I'm seeing everyone I know all of a sudden is plunging. So you guys are influencing the rest of the North Fork.
Tracy, I want to add, what you see on Instagram, frankly, is a snippet of what's available in the closed Instagram group of swimmers, because it's private and people are sharing their private journeys. It really, truly, every time I watch a peaceful video of somebody on their own walking into the water and swimming, I feel like I need to walk down right now. What am I waiting for? Like you were saying, Jab, now is the right time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all we have is right now. Give it a try.
Yeah.
Show up on Sunday, what Patricia was saying. Show up in your suit, because so many show up, oh my God, I wish I brought my suit. Because the energy, the buzz, the vibe, especially on Sunday, you'll be so high. It's like, I want to do this. And it feels extraordinary.
So I need to know, Kelly, if you'll hold Tilly, my daughter, because I don't have anyone to watch her. So, and I'm definitely not bringing her into the water. So,
and
Kelly,
I'm the official towel wrapper. So
yeah, so we're gonna need to add childcare to this situation if I'm joining.
I'm so bummed that I'll miss it. I mean, really, not that I want to be freezing cold, but I honestly, truly am bummed, because every Sunday is the same feeling. I know this Sunday is a little bit different because it's more a fundraiser and more of the community to come. But honestly, if you can't make it this Sunday, I would encourage everybody that's listening or is even remotely interested to show up any Sunday. And I think you'll get the same experience and the same feeling of feeling powerful in yourself, that this, it's something you can do and you don't have to be limited by the stories of your head.
Christina said that that I've got a babysitter. Nicholas will watch the baby. So now I can't back out.
Now I have no excuse. I can't just say I have to watch Tilly.
Exactly. All right. So this has been so informative and wonderful. One thing before we go into our NOFO 5 Live 5. I'm going to get it right eventually, you guys. What beach are we showing up at? Can you just tell everyone?
Yeah, sure. So it's Truman's Beach in East Marion.
Okay.
So it's right on the border of East Marion and Orient. We're virtually right at the end of the North Fork of Long Island.
Okay.
So there's a car park there. You'll see our tents and everything there, which is, the cast tents will be there. But yeah, there'll be coffee and cocoa and everything else like that. And it's just come and get connected. Come and get related.
I would come early because the plunge is at 10, but I would expect that you'll need some extra time for parking and getting situated on the beach and getting ready. So maybe plan at least 20 minutes early.
And if you start at 9:30, can you sign up there, or do you have to be pre-registered?
No, you can sign up there. There is an option to sign up there. It just makes it easier. Yeah. We do have lots of people ready to register you, but like on New Year's Day, the idea was to go in the water at 10. At 10 to 10, there were like 3 cars there. Now, at 10 o'clock, there's 120 people on the beach. So you can imagine what they're like. So come early.
Come early, enjoy some coffee and cocoa and get related so that we can all peacefully go in at the time. And if you need to register, you can register. If you have questions, the bears will be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to spread the bears out along the beach to go in. So there'll be like 8 or 10, and you can go in with one of the bears, and they will actually take care of you when you're in the water. They'll keep an eye on.
Somebody was asking about dogs. Can dogs come?
I mean, we do have dogs there. It's the only issue with having dogs and stuff in the water is they see people kind of panicking. The dogs want to go be with you.
I would say we can't have dogs in the water.
Yeah.
It's not safe for other people. As wonderful as everybody's dogs are, I have been in the water before when a dog has come up just to give me love, and it's frightening, and they're heavy. Yeah. And so that's just one level that we would like to avoid in the water, just to keep it nice for everybody.
Yeah.
I would say no dogs in the water.
Well,
if you are bringing
for this specific event, you mean?
Yeah.
Or in general?
Oh no! I mean, in a public beach, I would always encourage people not to let their dogs free in the water, just because it's dangerous to swimmers. Because dogs do come up to say hello; they can't help themselves. And when a dog comes up in the water and puts their paws on you, it's actually really heavy and disorienting. So it's not always a nice experience for other people.
Yeah.
That said, you know, everybody has their own choices, but it's a different experience in the water with a dog than it is not in the water.
Every week there are dogs running around the beach and stuff, so people do bring their dogs, and they're there. Generally, dogs are smarter than us, and they don't go in the water. So that's what you'll find. Dogs are smarter than humans, you know.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to kick off the end of our show with our NOFO Live 5. And if you guys were going to take us to lunch or dinner, where would you take us? What's your spot?
Ooh, I mean, lunch or brunch, probably our favorite place is mental block.
I like
Bruce and Sons.
Bruce and Sons is our favorite for breakfast into brunch.
Scott is an amazing creative chef. The ingredients are just off the charts. I mean, you know, you put something in your mouth and it's just like, oof. Yep. So he's a great chef. He really gets it. So that's Bruce and Son, which is on Main Street in Greenport.
And now, are you a brewery or a winery couple? What's your go-to for a day out?
I would say brewery. So, you know, the Greenport Harbor Brewing Company is just extraordinary. They grew so big now. They're just outside of Greenport, but they make a phenomenal beer. So that would be a brewery over a winery.
Yes,
excellent.
Now, I happen to know that you guys plunge very early at 7 in the morning. Is it 7 all the time? So I guess sometimes you catch a sunset. Sometimes you're too early for a sunset. I mean, a sunrise,
it's all
I should
over.
say.
Yeah, I actually don't plunge at 7 every day. I kind of go around to 8:30.
But what, you know, another reason we created this WhatsApp group is just to connect people so people go in as a community. So right now, there's another group going in Greenport, and, you know, they go in around this time every morning. There's another group in Southold, another group in New Suffolk, and they go in at different times of the day. So, but we all get to connect on WhatsApp and find out who's going in at what time, so you can join that group. So it always really works for you, and you can be there in a community.
Right. Do you have a good sunset spot? I know your sunrise spot is in Orient. Do you have a good sunset spot you go to?
Well,
or is that too late?
We are spoiled because sitting where we are right now, we get sunset. So we're sitting right by the water, and we always get the perfect sunset. So home with perfect sunset spots at home. Yeah.
Sunset spot home. So now, when you guys are out and about, is there a farm stand that you frequent?
I and Me farm stand.
Yes, I and Me. So Mimi and Stuart, local farmers out here in Orient. I mean, you know, it's all biodynamic farming, and the stuff that they grow is just off the chart. So I and Me farm stand, which is in Orient Point, when you're heading towards where the ferry is on the right-hand side of the road. But yeah, Mimi and Stuart, just phenomenal farmers and just really caring and loving.
And it feels like their food is like extra alive and extra vibrant. And, you know, Mimi works with a lot of chefs, so she cultivates things that are very special that you can't find everywhere. So. And
of course, Wild Child Farm Stand.
Yes.
One of your previous guests. You know.
Yes, for all your floral needs.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So if you guys could sum up for us why you love being a part of the North Fork community, tell us how you feel.
It's that sense of connection, you know, just being connected to this extraordinary community of humans where people, you know, are kind of open to share kind of what's going on for them, and creating that safe environment just to be in. It makes such a difference for us, such a difference for others. But yeah, that sense of connection, I think, is absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, and it's also it's like a special form of discovery. When we first started swimming together, people would show up and we'd literally just go in the water, do our thing, and then leave. We didn't even know who was swimming with us. Mm-hmm. But over time, we've gotten to know like who's in the water with us, and it's such a special group of people who, you know, are creatives and people that you would want to be your friends. But finding people in the water is a filter that somehow works for us really well. It's a very special group of people who decide to be part of this.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, they show up as they are. So there isn't, you know, you can't
Everybody,
tell one person from the other. And
that's right. There's no fancy car. There's no three-piece suit. There's none of that. And it's the great thing on Sundays as well is you just bob around the water and you go have a conversation with someone, then you bob somewhere else and have another conversation with someone. So you really get connected to people, you know, when they're being their most vulnerable, but at the same time, look at how powerful they are. Look at the courage they've got to actually be in the water. So, you know, you're getting the perfect human.
I love that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm sure that you've inspired many that were on the fence or not even considering it to hopefully show up this Sunday for a great fundraising cause, but also on every other Sunday. Follow them at North Fork Polar Bears on Instagram to get more details. I just wanted to also add, Patricia, I know you do these water retreats, which I want to hear more about. So we'd love to have you back on the show and talk specifically about that. I know you do them in warmer weather too. So that sounds great to me. Thank you so much. Have a great time on Sunday, and we will see you all next Friday.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.